Welcome all. Welcome to SAP PP training. Today we'll be starting our next topic, repetitive manufacturing. The topics we are going to cover in repetitive manufacturing are overview of repetitive manufacturing. What is repetitive manufacturing? We'll understand. What is the characteristics of repetitive manufacturing? Okay. We'll understand what is repetitive manufacturing profile. Okay. How the master data is created in repetitive manufacturing. What are the main functions in repetitive manufacturing? Once the master data is created, we'll understand how the planning is done in repetitive manufacturing. Okay, how the line loading done in repetitive manufacturing, and then we'll see the backflashing activity in repetitive manufacturing. Final production execution. So these are the topics we'll be covering today in repetitive manufacturing. The one which we covered already is discrete manufacturing. The one which we already covered, that is repetitive manufacturing. Okay, that entire production execution we have completed, that is discrete manufacturing, which we covered already. Okay, so now what is repetitive manufacturing? So repetitive manufacturing is used in companies which produces products in large numbers. Okay, it's used in where the products are produced in mass. Okay, so those are the organizations where you will normally applying repetitive manufacturing. Okay, so the production is quantity based or period based. So you take some quantity, you keep on producing the same. Okay, so repetitive manufacturing is mainly used for production with high product stability and high repetition rates. Okay, as well as low production complexity. That means you apply repetitive manufacturing where you don't change your product often on the machine. So you have same product or only one or two products continuously producing. So that's why the low production complexity. So you will not have much products over here. You have only one or two products. Those products you will take and you are on the machinery, you will be continuously producing the same product. So those kind of scenarios we will be using repetitive manufacturing. Okay, in repetitive manufacturing, the same product is usually produced over a longer period of time on a single production line. So the same product you will be keep on producing for a longer period of time. Okay, so it is not manufactured in individually defined lots. So there is normally any lot kind of thing. Okay, so instead a total quantity is produced over a certain period at a certain rate per part period. So you based on some rate you will keep on producing the product. Okay, production pass through production in a relatively steady flow. So products pass through the it goes through a steady flow on the machinery continuously. So those kind of scenarios you will be using repetitive manufacturing. If you see this picture, you will be able to get a fair idea of how the repetitive manufacturing happens. So here you are producing a product. Okay, so these are your machines, 1, 2, 3. So your product pass through these machines. Ultimately you will be getting this finished product. Okay, so now what happens is you keep on always producing the same motherboard. Okay, but the product continuously, your materials continuously pass on through this production line, and ultimately you will be getting motherboard. Okay, there is no question of producing the product on this machine, then wait for some time, again start on this machine, again wait for some time. So there is not concern. So product, the materials continuously pass on through the line, and then ultimately you will be getting the finished product. So these kind of scenarios you will be applying repetitive manufacturing. Okay, so this is the one which the discrete manufacturing and the repetitive manufacturing, the main basic difference is this one. So in the discrete manufacturing you will be using production orders. So it's a lot based. Okay, based on certain period, based on quantity, you will be creating different production orders. Okay, production orders. But in our case, the repetitive manufacturing, in case of repetitive manufacturing, so you have a continuous flow. Okay, you create a certain run schedule quantity kind of thing, planned orders. planned orders, and then using that you will be continuously producing. Okay, so that is what the repetitive management. It's a basically period based or quantity based. So for a certain period you will create one planned order, with that you will be keep on producing the product. Okay, so that is what the repetitive manufacturing. So we already discussed in our previous classes discrete manufacturing. Now today we are covering the repetitive manufacturing. Okay, so this is the overall flow of how the repetitive manufacturing happens. Okay, so we enter the planned independent requirements, okay, forecast, and then sales orders comes from sales distribution. You take these two, you run MRP, you execute MRP, and you will be getting the planned orders. You'll be getting the planned orders. Using these planned orders only, you will be executing the production, like your production, your GR, and all those settlement, everything will happen, and finally you'll be getting the stock. So this is the repetitive manufacturing process flow. Here there will not be any production orders. With the planned orders only, you will be triggering your production activity. Okay, so normally in our discrete, after getting the planned orders, we converted those planned order to production order, and then we have started the manufacturing execution. But in repetitive manufacturing, with the planned orders itself, you will be triggering the production activity. Okay, of course we'll see all these things in detail in the practicals. So this is the main functions in the repetitive manufacturing. First you will create the master data. First you will create the master data, all the relevant master data like material master, BOM, bill of material, routing, rate routing, then work center, which is called production line. All those things will create, and then we'll do the planning, line loading, which is called planning. And once the planning is done, we will move ahead with material staging and backflushing. This is nothing but production execution. Okay, so these are the main functions in the repetitive manufacturing. Okay, so now let's start with the master data. First we'll be creating the master data. So the master data required for the repetitive manufacturing is first material master. So whenever you are going for repetitive manufacturing, you will be making some additional settings in the material master, like you will be activating repetitive manufacturing indicator, and you will be activating the assigning the repetitive manufacturing profile. We'll discuss what is this profile, what is its use and all, and then you will be assigning a production version. Okay, so what is this production version, how it's created, we'll discuss. Then once that is done, we'll be creating bill of material, we're creating a metal BOM. Okay, then we'll be creating the work center. So work center in repetitive manufacturing, it is called as a production line. The reason behind is all work centers, all machinery are clubbed together, and you'll be creating a single work center, which is called production line. Okay, we will see all these things in the system. Then you will be creating the routing. So routing here, it is called as a rate routing. Okay, normal discrete industry we will be calling it as a routing. Here you call it as a rate routing. So in the rate routing, normally you will be having only one operation, because the reason behind one operation is all your work centers are clubbed into one production line. Okay, that is why you will have only one operation. Of course you can have more than one operation, but it is recommended to only have one operation. And then you will define some production rate, quantity per time in the routing. That is why it is called rate routing. Okay, so this is the master data we will be creating for repetitive manufacturing. So let's see some practicals. We'll create one by one, and then we'll continue with the flow. Okay, so first let's start with material master. Okay, so I'm creating the material. I think there is no material in this plant. Okay, anyhow, let me create a new material master. Okay, industry sector, I'm using mechanical engineering. Material type, I'm creating finished product. Okay, finished product I'm creating. Select use. This material master creation already we discussed in our master data classes. Okay, so I'm using the plant 1200. Okay, so this is my finished product. I am assigning the planning strategy 10. Okay, work scheduling. I'm activating batch management. Of course, it is not mandatory. It's optional whether to use batch management in repetitive manufacturing or not. It's optional, but still I'm going ahead with batch management. Okay, so costing views activated. We'll discuss your questions offline. Yeah. So now costing tabs also activated. Once all done, you'll be saving the finished product. Okay. So now for repetitive manufacturing, to make a product allowed for repetitive manufacturing, you need to make some extra settings in the material master. So I'll show you that settings. So go to material master, change mode immediately. You go to MRP4 view. Here you need to activate, plant is 1200. We need to activate repetitive manufacturing indicator. So if you see in the MRP4 view, there is an indicator called repetitive manufacturing indicator. So if you want to make this material as a allowed for repetitive manufacturing, you need to activate this indicator. These are the extra settings we'll be doing. And you need to assign a suitable repetitive manufacturing profile. So there are some repetitive manufacturing profiles already which are there in the system. So that profiles you need to assign. So these profiles you can create in the configuration. When we go to configuration, I will show you how to how to create the repetitive manufacturing profile. So I'll activate 0002, enter, and you save this. Okay, so this is how you make the extra settings in the material master in the repetitive manufacturing. Production version, once we create BOM and work center and routing, we'll assign the production version. So what is this? Basically repetitive manufacturing profile. So this repetitive manufacturing based profile basically controls some parameters. So it controls whether you want to do goods issue, goods receipt simultaneously. It will control whether you want to do goods issue and your goods receipt at the same time or separately. Those things it will control, and it will control movement types. What movement types you are going to use during GR and your goods issue, and then you want to do whether confirmation milestone confirmation kind of thing, which is called reporting point procedure. So these kind of control parameters you will be maintaining in the repetitive manufacturing profile. Okay, so once we complete the flow, when we go to configuration, I will show what are the settings available in the repetitive manufacturing profile. Okay, so now we'll be creating the work center. So we created the material master. So now we'll be creating the work center. Okay, so work center in repetitive manufacturing, it is called as a production line. Because all your machinery are clubbed into one. Okay, because your product continuously flows through a steady rate. So what you will do is you club all the machinery into one work center. That is why you will be creating only one work center, which is called production line. Okay, so let's create the product work center CR01. Okay, create work center. I'll copy from an existing one. Okay, I'll take a reference work center. I'll create here 7_11. This is my work center. The major difference is you will be using normally either category 0007 or 001. Other than this, remaining everything same. Okay, enter. Select the tabs, default values, capacities, scheduling, costing. Copy, and then you enter the name 7 production line 1. Okay, so this is my work center, nothing but production line. Okay, capacities, scheduling, okay, costing. So remaining everything same. Okay, enter the activity unit. Okay, so once all data is entered, we'll be saving the work center. See, the procedure remains the same like our normal work center in the discrete manufacturing. Okay, you will not be making any additional settings also. Okay, even the tabs, fields, everything remains the same like our discrete manufacturing. Only the thing is you will be using a different work center category. Other than this, everything remains the same. So we are not going into the details again. So just we'll be creating the work center. Okay, so save the work center, which is nothing but production line. Okay, so this is our work center, production line. So take the work center. Okay, so now the next one is your rate routing. Now BOM, we'll be creating the BOM, bill of material. Okay, we'll create the BOM. Okay, so BOM will be creating the bill of material. BOM remains the same. Okay, same like your discrete manufacturing. There is no extra settings, or there is no extra different procedure for creation and all. It's not that. It's pretty same like your discrete manufacturing. So for the finished product which we created, we will be creating the bill of material. So let us go to bill of material. Transaction code also remains the same, CS01. This is our finished product. Enter the plant, enter the BOM usage 1. Okay, 1 production, enter. Okay, this is the BOM creation. So I'll take some of the raw materials which are already there in the system. Okay, I'll use any two materials. Okay, I'm entering two materials as components, two raw materials as components, and I'm saving the BOM. So BOM remains same like your discrete manufacturing. BOM creation, procedure, transaction code, everything remains same as your like your discrete manufacturing. Then we'll be now creating the rate routing. Okay, so the rate routing, in the rate routing you will be mentioning in the standard value you will be maintaining the rate. So how many pieces or how many kg you are producing per hour, and you'll be maintaining your production line. Instead of maintaining the work center, you will be maintaining your production line, And the most important thing is you need to understand is normally you will have only one operation. You can have more than one operation, you can have if you want to have, but it is recommended to have only one operation in the rate routing. Okay, so in case of rate routing, your production your transaction code also changes, so you will be using a different transaction code. Okay, so go to logistics, production, repetitive manufacturing, master data. Sorry, here only, wait. Sorry. Go to production, master data, routings, rate routings. So CA21, the transaction code is CA21. Normal routing you use CA01. Here in case of rate routing we will be using transaction CA21. So enter your finished product number 2141 and enter your plant 1200. Enter. Okay, so you'll go to header. You go to header, enter the usage. Enter the usage 1, production, status, released. I am releasing this rate routing. Enter. Okay, and then go to operations. Now enter your production line. You enter your production line. So my production line is 7_11. So this is a production line. Enter the production line. Enter the description. Production operation. Okay, so production. So you enter the line. Now here you will be defining the rate. First enter once. Enter once. Okay, and now you will be defining the rate. So setup and others are not mandatory. Only thing is you'll be entering the rate here. Let's say 100 kg I'll be producing in 2 hours. So this is the rate you are defining. Okay, so this is the rate you are defining. Okay, so once you define the rate, that means here the rate is in 2 hours you will be producing 100 kg. That is the rate you are defining. And the maintaining setup and tear down time, breakdown time or something, those are not mandatory, it's optional. Okay, I'm not maintaining them. So once you maintain, so here the most important thing you need to understand is normally you will be having only one operation, because all your machinery are clubbed into one production line. So that is the main feature of rate routing. So once all the data is entered, you save the rate routing. Okay, so we are done with our BOM. We are done with our rate routing. Okay, rate routing. So now the next one you will be creating is a production version. Production version. So what is this production version? Production version is nothing but it is the combination of BOM and routing. BOM and routing or rate routing. If you are working in repetitive manufacturing environment, it is rate routing. So production version is basically a combination of BOM and routing which is used for the production activity. Okay, so we'll discuss about production version in detail in when we go to next process industry. When we go to that time, we'll discuss in detail, but here we'll be creating a simple production version. Okay, simple production version. We'll be creating the production version. So production version will tell you what procedure you are going to adopt, what procedure going to adopt on your line. That means what BOM and what routing you are going to use. So what BOM and what routing you are going to use to manufacture a particular product. Okay, apart from this BOM and routing, you can maintain some extra settings also in the production version. So to create a production version, the prerequisites are you should have a BOM, you should have a routing. Of course, in case of repetitive manufacturing, you should have a rate routing. Other than this, you can maintain some extra settings, like you can maintain the receiving storage location and issue storage location for all the components. So these also you can maintain in the production version. So we will be creating the production version. So let's go to the material again. Let us go to MM02. Go to material. So go to now work scheduling view. You can go to work scheduling view, continue. Plant is 1200. So here you have a button called production version. Here you have a button called production version. So click on the production version button. Then you will find this screen. So here you create first production version, PV1. Okay. So they give a description to it. Production version or production on line 1. Okay, so give that description. It is valid. Give the validity date. It is valid from today and valid till 31/12/999. Okay, so give the validity dates and just put the cursor on the production version and go to details. There is a down on down there is a button called details. So click on that button, details. Again you will be getting this screen. So here in this screen you will be entering the what BOM you are going to use and what routing you are going to use. As I said, the production version is a combination of BOM and routing. It is a combination of BOM and routing. Okay, so enter the BOM and routings. So we have only one BOM as of now, alternate BOM 01, and BOM usage is 1. Okay, so enter the BOM and you enter the rate routing details. So go to rate based planning. Here you select rate routing. The one which we are using is rate routing, and enter the rate routing group number. So if you go to our rate routing /NCS 23 2141 1200. So if you go to the header, this is the group, the one which we created. The rate routing group is this one and group counter is 10637. So let's enter 10637 is our rate route group number and group counter is 1. So this is the data you are going to enter. So enter the lot size, enter the lot size details, and once all the data has been entered, this production version we are creating for repetitive manufacturing. So activate this indicator, the repetitive manufacturing allowed, and production line. What is our production line? 7_11. So that production line you enter here. Okay, now apart from this you can enter the issue storage location and receiving storage location. What is the issue storage location means? Issue storage location means this is the storage location from which your components are issued. Okay, and receiving storage location is the storage location to which you are receiving your finished product. Once after completing the production you will be receiving it, right? So that storage location, if you want to make default, so those storage locations you can enter here. That option is also available. Okay, so you enter those locations if you want, you can enter here. So once the data is entered, what you will do is you will click on the button check. So you will do the consistency check. So this consistency check will do whether the data you entered on the screen is existing or not. Is it valid or not? It will do. It will check. So click on the button consistency check of production version. So it checks and it is showing the message task list exists, BOM exists. That means whatever the data you entered, it is valid. So close the screen. So you will be getting the green lights. You will be getting the green light. That means these rate routing and BOM already exist in the system. Suppose if I enter alternate BOM as 2, and if I do the consistency check again, see, system will throw the error that this BOM is not existing. See, no matching alternate BOM exists. Continue. It will throw the error and it will show you BOM does not exist. So if you close, see, there is an error, there is a red symbol. That means this BOM is not existing. So system will check whether the data you entered is already existing in the system or not. It is valid or not? It will check, and accordingly it will give you the information. Accordingly you will correct the errors. Okay. So now again I am entering 1. Again we'll do the consistency check. Both are existing. Close this. Now we have the green lights. Okay, so now once all